my wife's name on there. And
We are live with ex-prosecutor Lionel on this insane story that just broke today about Virginia, who I have corresponded with for years. She was at the tip of the spear when we were reporting on Epstein, along with the other survivors, Maria Farmer, Annie Farmer. We were all working together for many years, and she's been outspoken, even recently as March, on her Twitter, talking about the Epstein list and how politicians are just using the story for headlines and nothing real is getting produced and put in the public domain. And then all of a sudden today, she's hit at 70 miles an hour by a bus into her car that was turning. And they're saying that she's got 4 days to live, kidney damage. It's just, the whole thing is insane. People are putting on Twitter, where's the reports of the crash? Where's the videos? Where's, medical information being updated? There's nothing been reported on TV about this at all. Is this a conspiracy? Is she getting Princess Diana'd? Connection with the royal family? Is someone making an example of her? Maybe she was too hot to hit back when she was headline news with Prince Andrew.
take it easy.
They put her on the shelf. They put her on the shelf to do something later on to her. Or am I being too conspiratorial? I'm sure Lionel's going to put me in place.
No, not at all. Well, first, it's the wrong word, conspiratorial. You're saying, are there other people? A conspiracy is 2 or more people confederating. What you mean, am I crazy? Am I paranoid? Am I delusional? Sean, could you bring up the picture of her in the bed? Could I point out a few things to you? Do you have that handy? I know we've not, but it's the picture of her.
We've got her handy at the residence that I doorstepped and filmed, and I got the cleaner to open the door, and we recorded the staircase, etc. Let me just get this picture for you. There it is, 3368, and let me get this image, 3368. Bing. Right. Are you on about this one?
No, her in the bed, in the hospital bed.
Oh, no, because of YouTube's policy on showing injuries. We got to stay away from that one.
I guess so. But isn't it funny though that is the gravamen, that is the essence of the story. That is what it's. This is her story. She put this picture out. Said, hey, look at me. But I'm not supposed to point to the picture of whatever. Okay, let's go back. You and me, we don't need that. I've seen this damn picture for so long. This is Mr. Abromedrosis, who doesn't sweat. What a schmuck. All right. When you see the picture, everybody at home, go to your phone and look at her picture. And there's a couple of things here. And one of the things you got to look at is the story of her in the bed. Now, I'm going to look at it. And I'm going to try to describe it, because I always believe that whenever you look at anything, look at the evidence. Don't think, maybe this. What do we have here? Okay. Now, this is very interesting. Virginia Giuffre living in Australia, right? Perth. Wasn't that the story?
Yep, $2 million house after the settlement.
Yeah, not too bad. Not bad. Bless her heart. Now, I'm looking at it right now. First and foremost, when was this? Now, I'm going to describe it. To the right, you can see what appears to be a hospital, the railing with buttons to push and, that sort of thing. This picture, I would imagine, was taken immediately upon her entry because, first of all, she is wearing a not a tank top, but almost like a, what would you call that? Not a brassiere, not a negligee, huh? A camisole. My wife. I would have never come up with camisole ever. But anyway, this is not what you wear in a hospital. So this must have been taken immediately. Now remember, she's been brought into a hospital. First of all, she has, I think, on her, looks like her left breast, like a monitor for EKG or something. She has on still a necklace and I think a pearl earring. This would be off in a minute because of intubation, because of all kinds of other things. You would have never had that. So I don't know when this picture, I know if you're looking at it, I don't know when this was taken, who took it. When I saw this, Sean, I thought, oh my God, this looks like a death picture because of lividity, the eyes looking down. I thought, oh no, they're not the woman. She's in a hospital bed on the side. Did somebody lean? Who took this picture? It's just very, very strange. Was this, I don't know if there's a time signature. It shows her bruised and what have you. Was this in the middle of renal failure then? With kidneys shut down, bad. And you would have been, there would have been telemetry. You would have had the hospital gown for them to be able to get you right away. You would have had your hair either cut or moved or whatever to get with you, not to get tangled in devices and telemetry and intubation. So this picture just, I mean, it may mean nothing. It may mean nothing. Also, this couldn't, I don't know if this, how long does bruising take to commence? You know, you don't bruise immediately. You get into an accident and then later on you'll see the bruising. So I don't know anything about this. It's just one of this, there's just, I don't know what it is that bothers me about this photo. It just doesn't make sense. How long was she in this bed? What hospital? I know you in the UK and Australia, you have unique medical, but I guarantee you, the hospitals we go to, immediately, they take everything off. Because I've been in the hospital, the first thing you do is you leave your money and your pride at the door. They will catheterize you. They'll do this. They'll do it. I mean, you've got this telemetry. You've got that. And to sit on the side, you can't even. You're like this. You're almost impaled. She looks like she's lounging. Like she's to the side. Like, oh God, look at. So anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, other than the fact that it's just weird. It doesn't. And why would she do this goodbye cruel world thing? Well, that's it. 4 days tops. Hey, it's been nice. No, listen, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm telling you what it looks like. Normally people, and she's writing this in the middle of kidney failure. She's writing these paragraphs, these synopses. It's been a wonderful run. Thank you so much. How am I doing? 2 more hours. Hang on a minute. Normally you're intubated, you're sedated, somebody says, give me my phone, I'm going to write. Now, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. It means maybe she didn't do it. Maybe she didn't write that. Maybe some idiot. And here's the problem. Do we have stupid people? Let's assume it's a hit. Let's assume that the Palace Guard, MI6 54321, everybody's there, and they're all retarded. All right, I'm sorry, I can't think of another word. They're just stupid people, and they don't know what they're doing, and they write notes out that make people like me say, what? All I'm asking is that things look, normally when you're in, and no people are narcissistic, but when you're not able, you're in renal failure, you're sedated. For you, even if you are dictating, read this. Read it. It's been nice. Just want to see my babies. Rain of failure, 2 days to go. Look, I hope she walks out. I'm not trying to be cruel. I hope she walks out, and I hope she's fine. It's just weird. That's just, I don't know what that's about. Next, where is she? Who's she? Her father said, boy, I love her. It's going to be hard for me to get to Perth. I'm over here in the States. And okay, I can understand that. This is one of the most important women. And let me just say one more thing. AI blows me away. I can AI anything. You know what? This is AI. I'm not even real. This is Max Headroom. So I don't even know. When I saw this, and again, I've seen more the M word shots, and I thought, that's it, the eye. You know, when you see this, when you see how this, when there's no fixation, and you get the eye and stuff. It's. I'm not trying to. Only you would laugh. I'm doing my death imitation, and you're laughing. You sick bastard! You sick. Anyway, but that's what it looked like, and the lividity. It looked like she had been on her side for a long time, and the pooling, the livor mortis. It really is like, oh no, I hate those pictures. But read again the eulogium, the sayonara, the farewell, the denouement, the see you later. Now, let's go back to this. Somebody says, it's definitely not an accident. Michael, with all due respect, how do you know? I've had people before be hit by buses, ambulances, cops, first responders. Is it a city bus? Is it a school bus? What kind of bus is it? I don't even know. What does that mean? I know a case right now going on here in the New York area. Somebody hit by a bus. I mean, not going now 70 miles an hour. Let me hear more about it. Who is this guy? Was he drunk? Now, if somebody says to me, okay, listen, okay, fellows, MI6, we're going to put the hit on her. Who? Giuffre. Why now? I know it's daft. We've already settled. The Queen's paid her. She signed NDAs. She doesn't in any way pose any threat to us whatsoever. Now we're going to get her. Jeeves, what do you say? 30-06? No. Poison? No. Incendiary? No. A mad bus. A magic bus. Like the Who. Get Kilroy. He's terrible. You're still going to that? Yes. I want you to follow her in Perth with your bus. And when you see her, rev it up. I hope there's no one on it. And I want you to hit it at the right angle such that it causes not death, but slow and agonizing pain leading to renal failure. Got it. Now, this is not Diana and the tunnel with the lights and this. I mean, come on. But then again, baby, you may laugh. When they wanted to get that E feller, all they had to do was just say, he's gone. Nobody even knows. Nobody even knew him. No, they waited till he comes to the Teterboro airport, this private airport with all these millionaires, and they get him in a federal lockup wherever. So I don't know. Do these people love to leave messages? But there is no evidence from what I've seen, could be, that points to an absolute. It was intentional. Nothing. It's not there. I haven't read this. I don't know what you're reading, but the bus was going 50, 60 miles an hour. Okay. That's it. A bus, and a car, she's turning. It's just, so we don't know about that. So, but here is the thing. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to you. Let's talk about the side effects of this, the results of this. Pamela Jo Bondi, our Attorney General. So, by the way, I've known her my whole life. She's wonderful, from my hometown, went to law school. She is impeccable. She is one of the good guys. She is not at all. But it could be said, maybe she didn't know how nasty these people are. Maybe I don't know. But she decides one day, tomorrow we're going to deliver 8 to 10 boxes, reams of data that will finalize every sordid detail, every atomic, minuscule fact that has been kept. And right, Kash Patel, FBI head, righto, Pamela Jo Bondi, Attorney General. Yes, here we go. It's coming. And I've seen it, and it's hideous. It will make your skin crawl. Yes, finally, justice. Now, what happens? Where are the boxes? Drat. There's a problem. We're going to get to the bottom of that. What? What do you mean you're going to get to it? Where are they? First of all, there's nothing in these boxes. There's no, pictures of anything. But it's just like the JFK. And we've got the boxes and the files from JFK. I'm sure they're opening up and they go, oh, look, hey, the rifle, the missing brain. Who knew? I don't know what you think you're going to find in there. So that thing made people say, what the hell is that all about? And I'm saying, I wanted to say, General Bondi, we call them General, by the way. General Bondi, listen, not for nothing here, but you sure you've got these files, right? You sure, right? Right. Because these sick bastards, if you tell them that you're going to deliver and you don't, they will go berserk. They're going to go on the Sean Atwood. Sean, trust me, guy's a lunatic, but respected. And they're going to go on this show and they're going to go crazy. So if you don't have it, don't bring it up. We pretty much kind of forgotten it, but you're bringing it up and you say you've got it. Okay, you better deliver. Look at this. You're saying there's nothing. Was Andrew driving the school bus? I sent you that picture of the E-feller driving the bus. This is terrible. So there's no pictures, no anything. The most important person. Where's TMZ? Where's Harvey Levin saying, go out there, go to the constable's office or go to the wherever you. I get stuff in 20 minutes. Any accident. Hell, there's cameras everywhere. You can't fart without somebody picking. So that doesn't make any sense. So now we have people saying, oh, what are you doing? And Donald Trump is saying, who is the genius who said you had the Epstein files? What did you do that for? Now I got to answer to this. I thought that was over with, but it's not. So now we're going through this again. Now, I love her case. Why was she still talking to you? After she settled her case and made her dough, you think she would say, I'm out of here. I'm going to raise my family. And that's it. That's the end of it. Remember when she and that whole Dershowitz, man, you remember David Boies, the other lawyer who represented her? And then he sued Dershowitz and then Dershowitz sued him. Now, I'm not saying Dershowitz has said he had nothing to do with it. She said he had nothing to do with it. That's fine. But the idea, Sean, of somebody mistaking Dershowitz for anyone is hysterical to me. Who? Bozo the Clown? Who did you confuse it? Who? Maybe Sean Penn's character in Carlito's Way or something. But he's not involved in this. But let me tell you something. When you are a lawyer representing the mob, representing whoever it is, man, do you know something. And you know what's so weird about this case? And I'm not one of these anti-Israel folks. I swear to God, I'm just pointing out the facts. When you've got a hero of the Israeli people, who has worked for years, Mr. Dershowitz. When you've got Ehud Barak, a former prime minister, Les Wexner, Epstein himself. So if I said, Sean, years ago, you might not believe this, but right around the 30s, people said, I think these Italian people are in this mafia thing here. Well, this guy's Italian. He's Italian. That guy over there is Italian. They all have Italian names. I think this mafia thing is an Italian thing. It's the damnedest thing. They got this Aryan nation. And you know what I found out? They're a bunch of white people. Did you know that? They're all white. So we normally, and this IRA fella, you're not going to believe this. They're Irish. All of them, hence the name. So in all walks of life, we say, okay, and the Black Panthers, you're not going to believe it. Yes, sir. They're black, but they're not Panthers. All right. So we have these people who say, how can you miss? At least say, can we at least look into this? Not that Bibi Netanyahu is, working the lever. Go, get the bus to right. No. But why can't we say intel agencies gather information, they share it? Maybe the reason why it's not being put out is because of the fact that, I don't know, they're sharing it. And maybe our intel is saying, no, don't give it out. Why? Because we got that guy. Don't let it out. We're using him too. And let's face it, Israel says, look, we're your friends. Yes, you are. And to show you how good of friends we are, guess what we got? You know who that is? Oh my God. Here, it's yours. Take it. You don't think that works? You don't think Five Eyes works like this? You don't think people share? You know how we do it here in this country is we have rules here that says the CIA cannot, the hell am I saying? Cannot surveil or follow people who are Americans. So what I do is I pick up and said, do me a favor. Call my boy Atwood up. He works for, MIZ, whatever it is. Atwood, yeah, do me a favor. You run some, I'll do it. And by the way, if you find some, just leave it on my desk. And I'll do the same for you. You're not going to go to the home office or whoever does your stuff. I'll do it. We pretend that there's rules of jurisdiction. Now, by the way, the good news about Epstein is you're not going to see any of this again forever. It's done. They're not going to have this. This is too sloppy. I mean, can you imagine this? Hey, Sean, yeah. There's this rich guy. Yeah. You want to go on his plane? No. Diddy is rotting. By the way, he ain't ever getting that. He ain't ever getting that. Look at him. This is run. Who wants to go? Hey, anybody want to go to a Diddy party? No, that's okay. Anybody want to go to a Jay-Z party? No, that's okay. Anybody want to go to any party? No, that's okay. It's done. Unless you've been in a coma. This is over with. And what they're doing right now is the real surveillance and the real stuff that they're going to use to hurt you is in data form, not in pictures. You walking around, butt naked in knee socks. Go, is that Sean Atwell? Oh my God. Now we can extract millions. No, because guess what? AI, that's not me. Yes, it is. No, it's not. What about that tattoo of the nativity on your, well, what about that? Everybody knows I've got that. So this is, you're seeing the last days of this. Now, meanwhile, there's one name we don't talk about. Ghislaine Maxwell. Why in the hell is anybody, this is the only woman who goes to prison for the T word. I got to watch this. And she never talks about any T activity. She doesn't name any names. Can you imagine that? That's right. Mr. Atwood, you're pleading guilty to human. Yes, I am. And will you tell me the people who are involved in that? No. Will you tell me who they? No. I'm just. Come on. I've heard people suggest to me that he isn't even in Connecticut or wherever the federal prison is, that she's gone. I don't know. This is just guesswork. All I know is, as we say in the South, Sean, that dog don't hunt. And this thing doesn't make, there's just weird. I swear to you, you'd be surprised when you do any kind of a case, whether it's the M word or robberies, it makes sense. You don't sit there and say, this is weird. No, it's not weird. There's the guy, there's the gun, that's the confession. No, it's not weird. But when you get this, things don't normally make, look at these pictures, everybody watching. And by the way, you have a following that is so weird. No, but so big, so mean. And you've got great minds, and I would love to pool them in some kind of a crowd, collection. But just look at the picture. Ask your doctor. Anybody here a nurse? Any nurses here? God bless them. Doctors don't do anything. It's the nurses, the ones who wash you and wipe you and take care of you. They're angels. If anybody's ever been in, a hospital, medical surge, med surge, God bless these people. But ask them, look at this picture. Do you leave on all kinds of, do you ever go to the emergency room? They start cutting stuff off. It's like, hey, it's my watch. They love doing it. Take that off. Give me your, they take your glasses and they grind them. This is the most amazing thing in the world. And yet she's sitting there in full jewelry. And I don't want to be, but do we have to have that shot in the, what was that called? What? Decolletage, what's that called? The thing she was wearing, what do you call that?
Smock.
Camisole. A smock. Look at that. You and I are a couple of guys. Two things I don't know. That stuff and colors. My wife says, it's teal. What the hell is that? Blue, green? Anyway. So what we're talking about now is a case that we, as citizens of the world, have to go on X and say, where are the pictures? We're not pointing any fingers. Where's the pictures? For her. If anybody did anything bad to her, don't we have the right as citizens to say, hey, show us, I'd like to go. Is she okay? What hospital? I want to send her flowers. Is there anything on local Perth TV, Eyewitness Perth, Good Morning Perth, any TV show? Anybody? A person of this renown who goes on Instagram and says, goodbye, cruel world, so to speak, and nothing? And who's not talking? Is it the left? You can forget Fox News and those people. They don't say anything. Who's not talking? Who is told, mum's the word? Why? Because they want this to go away. And let me also tell you something. In conclusion, Mr. Atwood, if that's your real name, what if they have somebody somewhere says, hey, now that they said they were going to announce all these files, it's about time that I speak up and tell people, what? Yeah, it's about time that I speak up. Do you hear what happened to Giuffre? No, what happened? She got hit by a bus going 150. Buses don't go that fast. Right. On second thought, maybe this is not a good idea for me. How many people are gonna? How many whistleblowers? And by the way, same thing goes with Diddy. Same thing goes with who the hell wants to be? These people are dropping like flies. I don't know about you, but maybe it's my Sicilian roots to say I don't. It's like the Italian kid in school. He says, "Who killed John Kennedy?" He goes, "I don't know, and I'm not talking." So we just don't talk. There is who are the people. Well, by the way, a number of other people, Sean, who made out okay, who signed NDAs, made some money, and said, "I'm not going to bring this up." Virginia, who? I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about it. She's going to be memory hold like so fast, which is what we do because we have the attention span of a gnat. It's incredible. But look at the pictures of her in the hospital bed. And nurses, by the way, nurses, tell me what's wrong. If we have any nurses out there, listen to me, I'm running your show. Let us know. Call in at 1-800-25. Call in and say, what do you notice? Who leaves on all this stuff? And have not negligees, but camisoles and in a hospital. And who writes this very, very, not fulsome, but this rather full-throated prose, goodbye, these valedictories, when you're suffering from renal failure and have days to go, you're pretty much in extremis, and your ability to, it just stinks.
Let me just interject a few things while you're guzzling coffee. So we've got almost 2,000 watching across all platforms. Lionel's YouTube channel and his links and his wife's channel are all in the description box. There's his channel in the live chat. Please support his work. He's up early in the morning, folks, drinking that coffee, doing live streams on all of the breaking news stories. So lots and lots to watch over there. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you've got any questions for Lionel, put them in the chat. A few have come in already. And also, Ron has now facilitated live call-in shows. If you'd like Ron to facilitate a live call-in show for Lionel one fine evening, put a 1 in the chat. If you would rather that not happen,
it's funny you say that. I want to do that as well, and I want to see if you're using the same kind of program that I'm hearing about, where people can call up and talk, and that would be great. Oh,
I did my first one ever a few hours ago.
How was it?
They had to come in through Discord, but it worked really well, and they were very clear. You could hear them. It's nice. It's more human to have a voice rather. The chat's great and all, and we love the support we get in the questions. But to have the human voice on the screen with you, it adds a new dimension. I really enjoyed it.
That's what I'm going to do next. In fact, I'm going to talk to our boy Ron about that because he knows his stuff. He is just very talented when it comes to that there stuff. Amy says 1. There you go. Thank you, Amy. 1 is the loneliest number. I think. Does that 1 mean something? Is that some satanic code? Does that mean something?
One means they want you to do a live call-in show here one evening. Yeah. All right.
That's
so
what that means, huh? Okay.
You've got keep your questions coming in, folks. I've got a few for Lionel. We've got 30 minutes before we got old school Liverpool gangster Charlie Seeger part 3. So my question, Lionel, is who would say to someone in this position, you've got 4 days to live? I mean, if your kidneys have got hit, damaged, isn't the dialysis? Don't they put you on a list? Don't they give you some kind of a hope?
And the finality of it. Now, I'm reading into it. By the way, the reason why, when you read this is why we hate, what do I say? This is how we hate hearsay. I don't know if you have that in, I'm sure you do. In your hearsay is one of those things. It's an out-of-court statement that's offered and used by somebody else, and you're reading it. He said, you need to hear something. But so I don't know if I'm reading into this. I don't know if I'm Do you ever read something that says, "Look at this letter. Who do you think you are?" And they said, "No." I said, "Who do you think you are?" "No, I didn't write it like that. You read it like this." So I don't know if I'm reading her sayonara sarcastically. I don't know. I can't tell. But normally, I have a hard enough time writing when I'm in good health on my thing, except when I'm dying and my blood is 4 days, which is very specific. I've got 4 days. That's it. Remember the old joke where the guy goes to the doctor and says, "You've got 6 months to live." I said, "Well, I can't pay you. Give me another 6 months." Well, anyway, that's very, very specific. 72 hours. Okay. I'll go 4 days. And then that's it. And also, before you get to that point of dying, you would think that you would be, like I said, in a very, very bad state, unable to speak.
All right, let's give you one of the viewer questions. Why do you think they posed a former victim in such a suggestive pose?
It's funny. I didn't want to say that. But when you I'm sorry, but when you have a breast that's kind of pushed up, and you got the sticker, of course, for some type of telemetry or EKG or something, just one. Normally they're all over your place. You look like you're attacked by some. You got this one. It just and looking down. Who took this picture? Normally you would say, most people would say, "Don't take a picture like that. This is terrible." But then again, we live in a world of such this grating narcissism, where people will say, "Look at me, I've got this rash." Well, this is your last moment. Your children. This is your legacy, and this is what you want. And if you look at the picture, there is no way she took it because she's not looking in the camera. Normally, when you do a selfie, you're looking at it. You don't take pictures like this, like Steven Seagal shooting. You don't do that. So somebody there was also shooting up. Look at the earring. Look at the necklace. Look at the hair. Look at the hair that's loose. If they call a code on her, and this is in the middle, and they have 1 millisecond where they can't get some paddle on her or whatever the particular is, it's just absurd. It's absurd. There's something wrong with this.
So Snow Monkey wants to say, the bruising looks too pale to be fresh, doesn't it?
It takes a while, as you know, for bruising. Even boxers don't show bruising immediately. Do you ever see somebody after you've been in a fight with Mike Tyson, and you see him, "How you doing, Mom?" Okay, they're not bruised. The next day they look like they've been hit by a cruise missile, but you're not bruised right away. It takes a while for rubefaction, for puddling, for the trauma. Now remember, everything that we're saying right now is what normal people do in normal life. This is what you do. You cut yourself. You know what it is to. You've been to hospitals. It's part of this collective experience that we have. And I want to know, when did the accident take place? When was this picture taking place? Is there any kind of time signature? Who took it? And here's the best part. Where are they? Where are the Harvey Levins and the people who go out there who are dying to? It's almost like people are saying, "Hands off." You think somebody would just say, "After all you've done for us, are you okay? We miss you. Can we bring flowers? Can we?" Not out of incredulity, but just out of compassion. I don't know.
Right, next one then is from Sky Spirit. Was there perhaps potential for another court case? Could she have been about to reveal info?
I would think at this particular time they would say no, because first of all, once you've settled major money, and then you're going to say, "Oh, and one more thing, I've got a new case. How much are you getting paid for this one? Is this your house? How much did that clear? Are you so it not that in any way disenables somebody from being able to testify, but it kind of makes you think that I think that's, look, we're done with this. Sean, there is, we know the story. The guy who did it is, and the one who assisted him has already, she's not going to be, there's that thing again. She's not going to be retried. She's not going to come to court again. It's done. I'm sorry. My phone keeps doing that. It's over with. It is over with. And we're sick of it. Have you noticed, by the way, how the Diddy case is like, oh, God. You know, hey, you had gray hair. I did really, yeah. That's interesting. Now, if I could tell you, and one day I'm going to tell you on our phone chats, what I hear, which I would never testify, I say because it just no way. But have you ever heard somebody, first of all, we all know people who know something, who really are involved, and say, you know what I'm hearing? And then you hear it, that makes sense. But it's just somebody saying it, and there's no, but Diddy, for whatever reason, if I were Diddy right now, I would say, let the hair go gray. Just get a picture of you out there. Let them see. Why are we doing this? What exactly was it that you did? What was it? So anyway, that's a different story. I'm not going to bring that up. But these stories, there's a shelf life to them. And you know this. It's like, okay, either you change the script or we've heard it before. We know everything about that E feller and what's her name in federal. We've already said it. The black books and this and that. It's done. It's over. But we think there's going to be some kind of finality. There is none. It's not going to happen.
So D. Robinson thinks this is suspicious because the Epstein files might be released next week. But we're being told that all the time and nothing ever gets released.
Go ahead and look at them. Go ahead, read them. Read the files. What are you looking at? Now, remember, they're going to be redacted. They're going to be people who've testified. And we have we have a thing in this country called rape shield laws, where a woman cannot be, you can't go into her name and this and that. So a lot of it's redacted. A lot of it's, and I'm going to say something to you, which nobody wants to talk about. Not all these people are as innocent as you think. They made him out to be like this bad guy, and he was, who went out and he grabbed people off the street and he threw them in a van, and they're like those old movies. Remember that movie? What was it called, honey? Cry for Freedom or Sound of Freedom? Did you ever see that one? Where they break in and these little girls are chained to this. Oh, thank you. It wasn't like that. They had people they were recruiting. And people who were saying, come on and join. So I'm not absolving anybody. But if you think this guy was out there, going up and doing chloroform rather, and, giving people these Steven Seagal shots and throwing them. No. If you hear more of it, when you ask the question, could you have left any time? Yeah. And now remember, when you have underage anything, all bets are off. But if you really heard, is this where you lived? Yeah. There were supposedly apartments kept around where we have Bloomingdale, kind of Upper East Side, very nice, place. If I told you that the living conditions of supermodels in the 80s, granted, not this, was horrible. Where these girls were brought up and they couldn't eat. They were drinking coffee, cocaine, and cigarettes to keep their weight down. And now, granted, it was, but if you started to hear really what happened, you would say, well, out of these 10 cases I've heard, these 2 were real bad. This one was also, but there were at least 6 of them where I don't feel bad at all. In fact, they knew exactly what they were doing, because you see, everybody has their own mind, their own idea of what happened. And that's one of the reasons why they don't want their files to come out, because they don't want you really to know how bad it was. We're finding out, this, about the Manson case. None of it was true. None of it. People are saying, what? You mean because Sean, people invest in a story. And when somebody comes along and says, no, that's not what happened. Really? Instead of being relieved, they almost feel disappointed.
Yeah, it shatters a component of their identity and their belief system. So Claire wants to know, is it possible that since Virginia was so close to Ghislaine, that she had knowledge evidence of the bigger players above Jeffrey, and that's why she looks dead? This makes no sense.
They know exactly who the big players were. I didn't need her. In fact, I don't think the government's going to be too interested in having her testify how bad she was because they gave her a deal theoretically. So I mean, what is she, Sean? What is she going to say? It's like these mob platforms that they tell the same 10 stories over and over. I know. If I hear one more story about who, Bill Gates. Oh God. Okay. What else? Well, there was the who, and then we have a list of actors. I think, what was it, Ethel Kennedy was there? I mean, people that were like, this guy on the Upper East Side, he had this mansion, and it was like the hottest ticket in town. People went to dinner parties. He was a doyen of the society group. People just love to hang around, and there's so many people who were there. That's the best place to run cover. You want to be able to be. In the old days, we had, you might have heard, like George Plimpton. They had salons. It was a different world, and people loved the New York upper crust. Oh, we're going to Jeffrey's tonight. Oh, and you would go there. Who knows? It could be Walter Cronkite or George Stephanopoulos, just there for the crack crab and some booze. So if you think it was this, you hear screams in the middle of the night and the crack of whips and grind. No, it's almost like they don't want you to see this is it. Now remember, anytime you have anybody who's 16 years old, I don't care what it is, they can't possibly consent, and that's a different story. So I'm not trying to absolve it. But one of the reasons why I think they want to keep it from you is it wasn't necessarily as bad as you might think it was. And that's the fiction they kind of want to keep, because they want to keep demonizing this person. And they should. But what if you found out, I didn't know that. What if you found out that there were fewer women rather than you thought? What if you sat down and you find out who did the recruitment? Because the whole thing about Ghislaine is that she was this woman who befriended these young girls as their big sister, as their mother, lured them, kind of like the stalking horse, lured them. It's okay. I'm okay. Because in the world of this, the T word, women are absolutely preeminent to go out and lure and attract and mollify and quiet. So they know all this stuff. And then you got to ask yourself the question, with all due respect to Virginia, how much of this did you do? I know you yourself, but how much grooming and attraction and luring, how much did you do? When did you say that's enough? And let me ask you this. The guy who's really going to be quiet is, what about old Andy? Didn't Andy just get thrown out of pig? What the hell is that? I think I'm frozen there. Yeah. Frog Morton or Frog Throckett or whatever the heck. Wasn't he just thrown out of? Yeah. What wasn't? So he right now is thinking, I don't need this. I don't need this right now. I don't need this. I was doing okay. Me and what's her name? Fergie, or trying to. I don't need this, because they're going to say, any comment on where were you? Were you driving a Wolverine at 3 p.m. in Perth? So he doesn't want to talk about it. And believe me, the Justice Department does not want to talk about this. Don't you understand? They're going to, I bet you anything President Trump told, I'll bet you President Trump told Pam Bondi, what the hell did you do? Sean, we're not going to, you do know, we're never going to find out about Kennedy. It's very easy to find out about about RFK. That's easy, because that's real easy. But we're just not going to do it. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you to tell anybody I'm telling you this. But there are people who want exactly to keep talking about this. They love this. You know people like this? They just love it. Their eyes perk up. And I've never seen anything like it. And they will jump. Like, for example, a fine person said, it was definitely a hit. How do you know? I don't want you, get out of here. You're not in my police department. Get out of here. Give me some proof. I think we know. But that picture.
And I'm one of the people who enjoys talking about this case. And I've written a book called Who Killed Epstein?
I would never guess.
The links are in the description for that book. Well, it's got a lot of stuff I can't talk about on YouTube. All right, so Lionel. All right.
But by the way, stop for a second. You know, if I had to put you, if I said, okay, I want you to bet. I have right now one. Who wants to be? I want you to bet you, your privates, your family, your fingers, and you're going to come up with the answer. Who was responsible for the dispatch of that E feller? Do you have an idea? Could you say, oh yeah, I'll do it? And assuming there is a true answer, an answer that everybody knows, do you know who? Do you know? Do you really know, or do you kind of know the direction?
My answer is that when you pose a threat to numerous vested interests, there becomes a tipping point whereby a decision is made to unalive you. JFK is an example of that, and I believe Giuffre is an example of that.
Now, what you did, my dear friend, and you know I love you, right? I love you to death. But I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to notice what he just did. He confused motivation with causation or identity. I don't care about the motivation. I know why they did it. I know. I don't think somebody said, "Ooh, what?" Because I was inside there. You know, I just hated that guy. I did it. Why? Because he kept hogging this and no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't. It was somebody we know. Why? We know about JFK. That does nothing. Nobody ever. Motivation means nothing. Yes. Mother Teresa, that might, well, Christopher Hitchens might disagree, but I know that. But I mean, who? This is my question.
I believe the intelligence agencies are the enforcement arm of the vested interests, and they get the nod when that decision is made.
I know that, but that's no good. This is what I'm thinking. Let me put it to you this way. This is my movie. In my movie, I'm not saying this would happen. In my movie, I'm going to say, okay, boys, you know what we got to do? Yeah. We want to do it quiet or not? Oh, no, in the open. There was a fellow years ago named Arnold Schuster. I don't know if you heard about that. Just a side note. This was a guy who there was a fellow named Willie Sutton years ago. Willie Sutton was a bank robber. Willie Sutton had the famous line. They said, Willie, why do you rob banks? He says, that's where the money is. Okay? And he was beloved. Willie Sanchez. Willie Sutton. So this one guy, Arnold Schuster, fingered him. They said, that's the guy, and called the cops. A fellow named Albert Anastasia from Murder Incorporated said, I want him hit. I hate a rat. So this guy is like talking 1957 or something in Brooklyn. He goes, yeah, I was the one. Yeah, I was on the subway. And I go, hey, that's Willie Sutton. And the Lord High Executioner, Albert Anastasia from Murder Incorporated, he's watching TV or something. He goes, get him, because he hated that. He says, and make sure you leave him in the street and do stuff to him. So people say, oh, I know what that means. Well, that's what this was. Now, if you wanted him just to disappear, that's easy. One day, daddy just doesn't come home. That's the easiest thing in the world. What are you going to do? They wanted to do it in person, because I told you he came in through Teterboro Airport. They could have got him in the Champs-Elysees. They could have anytime. Nobody would have said anything, but they wanted to do it. And they said, imagine, so in my movie, I'm the chief bad guy. I'm the chief spook. I'm the deep state guy. And I've got my minions. And I say, I want it public. And you say, what do you mean public? Real public. This is my movie now. You mean like in the street? No. Think even more public. You mean like in a federal prison? Now we're getting. That's crazy. I know. I want everybody to know. Do you remember this other movie? It was a Gideon Sword or something. It was when Mossad took out after Black September, and they took all those guys out. Remember that they went through this, and they wanted to dispatch all of the people who were responsible for killing the wrestling team in 1972. Remember that the Mossad did, and they said, we want to do it. We don't want to do a sniper. We want to go into somebody's house and take their famous their table out and have it a reproduction made with C4. We want to put it inside their cell phone. We want it to be theatrical. That's what this was. So I know that. So how do you do it? Well, in my movie, I would sit there and say, do we have anybody around there who's real good, real strong, real, let's say physically fit, who's facing, I don't know, the death penalty for something? Anybody who's in the cell with him that we can somehow help commute? Just for doing in my movie now. I'm not saying this. Because that's the one where I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. You don't see what's happening, especially when there's been problems before. And only in America, the stupidest bunch of people, and I'm sorry, who love, real crime, who can sit here and see absolute evidence of, thyroid and hyoid. So it's a perfect mix. So I know, yes, you are right, but I want to know who are the people, and that means you have to bring this person in, and everybody there knows exactly. So all of a sudden, there's Sean Atwood. He's in his cell with his hulking weightlifter. Next thing you know, the weightlifter comes out like this. I look and say, "Uh-oh, I didn't see that. I'm asleep. Turn that damn light." Hey, and you know exactly. Oh, we've had things that have happened on the 11th day of the 9th month in the year 2001 in New York, and I was here. When people looked at that and said, "Oh, that ain't a fire." Now that's, so we know motivation, but who did it? How it was done, not why. Like with JFK, who did it? Not, I know, yeah. Bobby Kennedy, that's a tough one. What was the motivation behind that one? What was the John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy? Okay, maybe because he was going to end the war. Yeah. And also keep in mind one more thing before I forget. When you go into, they talk about the zeitgeist, not the movie, but the zeitgeist, the spirit of the times. And there were people then, in those days, who just came out of World War II. And they were into OSS. Everybody knew about, combat, and it was a different world. We were full of piss and vinegar, bravado. We could do anything. And when these guys say, yeah, this guy, Jack Kennedy, is a thorn in our side, he's a stone in our shoe, they said, we know how to fix that. Why? And I've got these people who are still thinking this mindset. In the case of Mr. E, there's a bunch of people out there who love this sense of they are really deep state, black hat. Do you know that Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence? There's like 18 divisions, CIA and NSA and FBI. I could read the list from you. The oceanographic, and it's always some little group. I want you to watch a video I did with John Kiriakou, who was a CIA agent. The mindset of these people. The mindset. I want to teach people a lesson. And I can tell you, if I ran the show, I would say, do me a favor, Sean, because you're new with this. In my movie, I'm the old man and I'm showing how to do it. Do me a favor. Don't make it look too clean. Make it look sloppy. It'll drive them crazy. Like leave a bloody footprint. Right. Don't go crazy. They'll go and they'll think about this, or better yet, leave a pentagram on the wall. Leave a feather, a deck of cards. They'll go crazy. They'll think it's Satan. They'll go nuts. People won't realize. They go, it's Atwood. He always leaves something. So what we do right now is there are people, and what you've done is you're not confusing, but I ask you who did it, not why. The why, I think, is pretty obvious. Now, the question is, when is this going to stop? Because the bad people who are doing this want to sit back and they say, what are people going to do? They're watching right now and they're saying, you know, this Giuffre thing, and I'm I don't know about you, but I'm doing like I'm sitting, not Shiva, but I'm like in the death watch. I keep on X. I'm thinking, is somebody going to fill this? Because I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I feel very, very sorry for her. And when you take a woman in particular and you put them through this, it reworks their mind. It's like she's been in a prison, she's been slapped, and none of the money that she may have made in any way can pay her back for what her life has become and what her name has become and things that you don't even know about. Nightmares that she's had, not being able to trust men, physical, who you don't know. So I don't want her to be hurt. But in conclusion, because I know you got that guy, that killer who's going to be on here, but very quickly, the thing that I want people to understand is that we're the grand jury. Look at me, everybody watching. See, they didn't have this during Kennedy. It's the old days. They had a newspaper, a guy with a radio. We just stay up late. And I'm going to say this in a nice way. My friend who's demented says one day, he says, you know, we can drown them in our urine. And I said, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, no. There's so many of us. You don't understand. There's so many. You don't know how many of us there are. No army can stop us. Nobody can stop us. There's so many, and we all are connected to everybody else. The army went from 1 to like 1,000 in any event.
My friend, this has been one of the most fascinating, one of the most enjoyable episodes we have done. Really appreciate it. I was waiting for something to break. I knew you would just be on fire. And let's hope something breaks soon, and we'll get you on the live call-ins as well. So let's coordinate that with Ron.
Please, and tell Ron I'm going to be calling him because I want to figure this thing out. All the best, my friend, and to your wonderful stable of fans. All the best. Thank you. Regards to you. Cheerio.
Thank you, Lionel. Cheerio. Take care. Toodaloo. All right, here's Lionel's YouTube link again, folks. It is in the live chat. Support his channel and send him love from us when you go over there. And if you are interested in my book with all my banned content, remember I was nuked off YouTube for covering Epstein. The link is in the description box. Who Killed Epstein? Subtitle Prince Andrew or Bill Clinton. I'll put the links in the live chat as well. And we have got Charlie Seeger Part 3 coming up right now. It's premiering. If you're watching This Is Our City on the BBC right now about the Liverpool gangsters, there are scenes in the show right out of Charlie Seeger's life story. He's got 4 books out as well we've helped him with. The audiobooks are amazing. And I'm going to end this. It's just over an hour long. I know it's late here in the UK. I'm going to end this, but if you want to stay tuned, it will customize over to Old School Liverpool Gangster, Charlie Seeger Part 3. So stay tuned, folks. We're just trying to do, 5-6 hours of content tonight?